Hi everyone. Welcome to the Transitional Year Program. I guess my job here is to introduce who I am and the courses that I teach that I hope that you'll be, my courses you'll be entering into. My name is Doyle-Wood. And I will be teaching the seminar. I will be the seminar instructor for CSE240 and CSE270. CSE240 Introduction to Critical Equity Studies and Solidarity, and CSE270 Foundations of Community Disengagement and Solidarity. The seminar then is a seminar that unpacks all of the material in those option courses, CSE 240 and CSE 270. We engage in pulling apart the material, taking up the discussions that are happening in lecture, making sense of them in terms of our real lives. Yes. I've been asked to do a video. Comrades at the Transitional Year Program have asked us to do videos to describe and explain who we are in our courses. I'm in the park. This is officially known as Oriel Park. I call it the Byron de Baziguet Memorial Park. This is a park where in 2008, February of 2008, young Indigenous psychiatric survivor was murdered by the Toronto Police Services just over here, essentially for stealing 2 lemons over at a store over this way to my right. And so I have unofficially named this the Byron Memorial de Baziguet, the Byron de Baziguet Memorial Park, the BDMP. And I say that the reason why I suppose I bring that up, I'm in the park, everything we are, everywhere we are, everything, nothing is non-political, everywhere we are at. Our very existence has connections to colonial relations of power. And that is very much what I will be taking up in the course. I will be the instructor for those option courses, CSE 240 and CSE 270. And I will be taking up stories like this, right? Stories where a young Indigenous psychiatric survivor is murdered here in public. For stealing 2 lemons on Indigenous land, right? This is a public park, but it is Indigenous land, right? We'll have conversations about who is public, therefore, and who is not. So these are some of the themes and some of the topics we'll be looking at in CSE 240, Critical Equity Studies and Solidarity. We'll be looking at historical practices of inequity, the historical constructions of inequity. We'll be looking at organizing for survival and resistance on the part of the oppressed, and particularly in 270, CSE 270, we'll be taking up more and more of how the oppressed organize for liberation and freedom. That CSE 270 will be looking at this concept of community engagement, both from a top-down perspective, the ways in which state agents, foundations, corporations look to organize communities who are being historically oppressed, right, in order to, satisfy their own corporate needs. We'll be addressing that, and we'll also be looking at the ways in which grassroots organizing takes place, right, from the bottom up, right? And that is particularly my interest, right? That is particularly my focus in my work. whether it be at the level of grade 5 and grade 6s, whether it be at adult learners in what we talk about as post-secondary education, or whether it be within our communities on the ground, right? CSE240 heads up will have a particular specific focus on the Black Panther Party for self-defense. And in that course, and then also following through to 270, the concept of self-defense will be pulled apart, will be highly centered, right? And will be centered in such a way as to where we want to think about its meaning in terms of liberation and freedom, right? And its meaning for us, not only in wider, mass movements, but for us in terms of just our small spaces of being, right? Everything that I'm doing now, everything that I'm saying now, everything I'm part of is very much connected to my own self, right? As a self-actualizing, self-determined being that doesn't arise in this world individually, here stand, right? But also as a result of the liberation struggles of those who have made up STAN, those who are still a part of STAN, right? That's what we'll be talking about. That's how I will be talking about these issues, right? And I think it is particularly important to be centering these particular issues, these discussions, these thoughts, these knowledges now and in this moment. So that is the seminar, and that is the CSE 240 and CSE 270, which the seminar supports. So you'll have me as a seminar instructor, and you'll also see me as your instructor in those two option courses. A little heads up, I also will be your director coming into September and coming into the new academic year, right? And so I wish you, right, much love, right, and much respect, right? And to emphasize that I and my comrades and my colleagues at the Transitional Year Program are here to support you and to have your back, right? So I'll sign up for now.